Yeah, I mean that those rules might change. Right now they can't ask you those type of things,
Right.
technically,
Technically.
but they can. But it like anything, they can profile you, right? Like you're a husky guy, I'm a husky guy, Kiko. Like when we get into a room, like we're being judged.
Yeah.
What I'm not. This goes across the board anywhere. That's why they
Right.
say there's only a first time for a first impression. You get what I'm saying? Like why is there even an impression to be made, right? It should just be like you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
the impression means that your judgment. Your right? I don't know.
Of course. No, I
Might-
totally agree. I totally agree. Like,
I
you
don't
should
know.
judge the person based off of their character.
But right, exactly. But what I'm saying is that there is judgment, right? Like
Right,
people
but-
are saying, "Oh, I'm not getting a job because I'm black. I'm not getting a job because of this." Well, yes, that might be actually happening. But what I'm saying is that everybody gets judged. You're sitting here saying, "I'm out of a job. I need to go get a job. I'm gonna go there, and they're gonna look at me and say, this guy eats far too many donuts,' and I'm gonna like, I don't mean to rag on you, but I'm just saying,
No,
like,
or they
I
might
mean, to
require
be
like
specific, Little Caesars and Crunchwrap Supreme. Right?
yeah, and wacky when
Tomato,
Wacky
tomato,
Wednesdays, Wacky Wednesday.
Hey, but dude, then I didn't want to get political, John, but let's do
I mean,
this.
eventually it's gonna happen. Uh-huh.
Wouldn't it be solved, right? Like, if you had to take care of your own health and you had to pay your own health privately, and your job that wasn't their job or their responsibility, then wouldn't you think the workforce would be a more dynamic machine where, like, if you put less bum bros for me to hire you, like, I'll hire you. If I don't need you, then it should be easy for me to fire you too. But then that will make it so that you'll be able to get a job easy with anyone, even if you get fired. And then you cover your own expenses medically, and then that way your job wouldn't even. I mean, your job can still judge you if it thinks you're eating too much donuts, but not now based on the fact that it could cost them money because of it. So
Right.
don't you think there is it's like a good argument for a free market where you separate those things?
So I guess this is where we kind of like dive into the whole capitalism versus socialism scenario that we were initially going to talk about. I don't know. Like, I find it kind of messed up that a person that's working at a job getting paid $9 an hour has to decide whether or not to go see a doctor because their ankle hurts, or have food on their table for their kids and shit. I don't know if it's on them to be able to support their own medical expenses because of their level of education or their level of income. That's one of the aspects of, I guess, socialism that I do agree with. That we should account for, like, we already spend so much in taxes. Why can't a percent of that go to making sure that everybody has healthcare? Like, everybody that below, let's say below a certain level of income, the government should provide you with healthcare. And, like, I'm not like, no, like, I don't believe in the whole everybody should get paid the same, because that's not real. Like, every job has a different skill level, and you should be paid accordingly. This whole universal basic income, like I was talking to you another day. If you get paid a certain wage, let's say there's a federal minimum wage and a federal living wage. So if you get paid the living wage, then you're good. You don't need the assistance. But if you get paid the federal minimum wage and it's below the living wage, then we can account for something to help you in that aspect. Because realistically, at the rate that you're working at $9 an hour, you're gonna end up in more debt than you are in actually being able to get out of the poverty system, or like out of that level of poverty, because you're just constantly spending that just to live, and you're living below the national living means.
Yeah, but would you? I mean, I would agree with this. I don't agree with the minimum wage, but I do agree that a better solution could be the living wage, like you're mentioning it, and not force. I think we've talked about this in the podcast, and not put it on the employer, right, to pay these fees or to pay this cost, but put it to the state. At the end of the day, we have to pay taxes to fucking help people, right? I mean, we cannot get out of that. It's either that or fucking, the Holocaust. And obviously, we need to live with each other. So we need to
Right.
find a way how to do it. We still gotta pay taxes, so those taxes go somewhere and help people. I just want to
Right.
make that shit be the most efficient as possible, right? Because that's us. That's our money, right? So I think that you heard the dynamic of the free market when you obligate people to pay certain wages. I think that should be between the worker and the employer, right? However, if there's this kid that has a kid and a wife and they're in a bad situation, and this kid could only get a job that pays them $5 an hour, taking people from the movie ticket area to the seats, right? That doesn't exist anymore. But maybe he has that simple job because he doesn't have many skills. He doesn't have any education, but he could do that, right, and get $5 an hour. All right, why should we force the movie theater to pay him 15? They're not gonna hire him. I prefer let them pay him whatever they can agree, right? He's gonna learn skills, and the remaining amount that person would need to make for the living wage to be met, which is something that will need to be debated on each state and with different parameters, etc. But if the government puts that extra amount, the guy's still getting the help he needs, but we're shifting the responsibility from the actual employers. Now we're still losing money. I wouldn't call it losing because we're helping, right? Because taxpayers are paying it. But I prefer it to be that way instead of the other way, because the other way creates higher prices for your products because Publix has to pay some kid to pick up carts $15 an hour.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and realistically, I wouldn't mind paying a tax if I know that it's directly helping somebody out. However, like, I also see that maybe it shouldn't be the corporation or the company's responsibility to fulfill that, but they should also at least help. Like, the company should help and we should help. Like, everybody should help. It shouldn't just be the taxpayers. It shouldn't just be the corporations. It should be everybody. Like, it's everybody in the state. Everybody that works in that state has to help.
Yeah.
Not just the corporation and not just the people.
I think also, I mean, what about this idea, right? What if everybody had decent insurance paid for, right? And I mean by everybody, this is a country by country base, obviously. So the U.S., we're the best country in the world. We're advanced. We're doing this and that, whatever.
We got handles, God damn it!
we got handles because apparently in Spain they don't have any liquor with handles on them.
Shut up, damn.
Yeah. Wait for the episode to come out.
But that tells you how much we drink, though.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's a gluttony thing. It's like a gimme thing.
Exactly.
But I mean, so like, yeah, we like to spend a lot of money. So why don't we do this? Why don't we all work, and then pay a little bit higher taxes, but so that nobody, not even the employers, have to pay for health insurance, right? Or for health care. And I mean pay enough so that everybody can go to a doctor, and even the doctors are happy making what they're making, because that's the problem, right? When you start to like do that, then you got like lower
premiums and lower rates and lower paying for the doctor. Yeah.
So let's pay. Let's fucking, as a country, let's pay for universal healthcare, right? And if you, a baller, want to go and pay Mr. McDaddy doctor for whatever procedure, you have the right to do so by paying by going to a privatized health insurance company. And let me tell you something, a lot of people are going to do that. Like, enough people for that business to still make sense.
No, I mean, obviously, how there's in other systems where they have universal healthcare, that there's like a waiting list depending on the severity of the surgery, of the procedure, whatever it is. If it's life threatening or not, you can wait or you can't wait. I understand that. If I'm getting universal healthcare and I don't have to pay for it, and I'm paying it out of my taxes per se, and I understand that there might be a wait for something that's non-lethal. And I also understand that if this could be a doctor that just came out of school, that he's kind of like practicing on you. You don't know that, but you know that this other doctor is already established at a certain with certain years of experience and with certain facilities, top of the line, whatever, and you have to pay a little bit extra to do that procedure, or if it's a very complicated procedure like separating conjoined twins or something like that. I understand.